Iran's security chief, Ali Akbar Ahmadian, has issued a provocative statement suggesting the emergence of a new resistance militia in Syria, ostensibly aimed at countering Israel. His remarks come in the wake of significant geopolitical shifts, particularly the fall of Bashar al-Assad's government, which was toppled by rebel forces led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS. This development has not only reshaped the power dynamics in Syria but has also set the stage for a potential escalation in proxy conflicts, with Iran signaling its intent to leverage the situation for strategic gains. Ahmadian's comments reflect Iran's long-standing strategy of using proxy groups to exert influence and counter perceived adversaries. The claim that Israeli actions in occupied Syrian territories have fueled widespread anger is consistent with Iran's narrative of resistance, which it has used effectively to justify its interventions across the region. By framing Israel as the aggressor and championing the cause of resistance, Iran aims to rally support both domestically and among sympathetic factions in the Middle East. The fall of Assad's regime marks a significant loss for Iran, as Syria has historically been a critical ally and a key component of its regional strategy. Through its alliance with Assad, Iran maintained a direct link to Hezbollah in Lebanon, enabling it to support the group both logistically and militarily. With Assad's ouster, that link is severely disrupted, forcing Iran to re-evaluate its approach to maintaining influence in Syria and the broader region. The establishment of a new resistance militia could be part of this recalibrated strategy, designed to ensure that Iran retains a foothold in Syria despite the shifting political landscape. The potential formation of such a militia raises several questions about its composition, objectives, and operational capabilities. Iran has extensive experience in organizing and supporting proxy groups, as seen in Iraq, Lebanon, and Yemen. In these contexts, Iran has provided training, funding, and weapons to groups that align with its ideological and strategic goals. In Syria, however, the situation is more complex due to the fragmented nature of the post-Assad landscape. Various factions, including HTS, Turkish-backed groups, and remnants of Assad's forces, are vying for control, making it challenging for Iran to establish a unified resistance front. One possible scenario is that Iran could recruit fighters from the remnants of pro-Assad forces, leveraging their disillusionment and desire for retribution against those they perceive as responsible for Assad's fall. Alternatively, Iran could seek to ally with other groups that share its anti-Israel stance, although such alliances may be fraught with challenges given the competing agendas of the various actors in Syria. The success of these efforts will depend on Iran's ability to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterize the Syrian conflict. For Israel, the potential emergence of an Iranian-backed militia in Syria represents a direct and immediate security threat. Israel has long been concerned about Iranian entrenchment in Syria and has conducted numerous airstrikes targeting Iranian assets and weapons shipments to Hezbollah. A new militia, particularly one explicitly focused on countering Israel, would likely become a focal point of Israeli military operations. This, in turn, could escalate the cycle of retaliation and counter-retaliation that has defined Israel's interactions with Iran and its proxies. The regional implications of such a development are profound. The rise of a new resistance group could exacerbate the already volatile situation in Syria, where multiple actors, including Turkey, Russia, and the United States, have vested interests. For Turkey, which has significant influence in northern Syria, an Iranian-backed group could be seen as a challenge to its own ambitions in the region. Russia, which has been a key player in the Syrian conflict, may also view the emergence of such a group with concern, particularly if it complicates its efforts to stabilize the region and protect its interests. The United States and its allies would likely interpret the formation of an Iranian-backed militia as a destabilizing factor, justifying continued military and political engagement in the region. The U.S. has consistently opposed Iran's regional activities, viewing them as a threat to its interests and those of its allies. The emergence of a new proxy group could provide further impetus for the U.S. to maintain its presence in the Middle East, despite calls for a reduction in overseas military commitments. Ahmadian's statement also highlights the broader strategic rivalry between Iran and Israel, which extends beyond Syria to encompass the entire region. For Iran, the creation of a new resistance militia serves not only as a means of countering Israel but also as a way to reaffirm its role as a key player in Middle Eastern geopolitics. By positioning itself as the vanguard of anti-Israel resistance, Iran seeks to bolster its standing among its allies and within the broader Islamic world. Domestically, the narrative of resistance allows Iran to divert attention from its own internal challenges, including economic hardships and political unrest. By emphasizing the threat posed by Israel and the importance of resistance, the Iranian government can rally public support and justify its foreign policy decisions. However, this strategy is not without risks. The creation and support of a new militia would require significant resources, potentially straining Iran's already challenged economy. Additionally, such actions could provoke further international sanctions and diplomatic isolation. The international community's response to these developments will be critical in determining their trajectory. Diplomatic efforts to address the underlying causes of instability in the region, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the fragmented state of Syria, could help mitigate the conditions that allow such groups to thrive. However, achieving meaningful resolutions to these complex issues will require sustained commitment and cooperation among regional and global powers. In summary, Ahmadian's remarks signal Iran's intent to adapt to the changing geopolitical realities in the Middle East following the fall of Assad's regime. While the creation of a new resistance militia remains a speculative possibility, it underscores the persistent challenges to achieving peace and stability in the region. The interplay of local, regional, and international dynamics will shape the outcome of these developments, with significant implications for the future of the Middle East. Whether this new militia emerges as a tangible threat or remains a rhetorical gambit will depend on the actions of all stakeholders involved in this intricate and volatile landscape.